Well, our first guest is one of our all-time favorites. Michael Perry is a New York Times best-selling author, humorist, and radio show host. He is also a nurse, a volunteer firefighter, and sometimes a pig farmer.
That's right. He's got a long list. Michael's written wonderful memoirs, but his new work is his first piece of fiction. It's called The Jesus Cow. We love it when Michael Perry plants himself on this yellow couch. Good to have you here.
Plants himself.
Uh-huh.
I like
you
that.
like it?
Yeah.
It's good stuff. How are you?
Doing great.
I haven't seen you in a little while. What's new with you? Are you having any more babies inside your home? Is your wife giving birth to any more children at home?
She is. This is going to be a real news flash.
How many do you have now?
I have two daughters.
Two daughters.
Yep. I have a 15-year-old daughter and I have an 8-year-old daughter.
What would they say is your best quality, do you think? If you had to go inside their brains.
He goes and hides in that room over the garage and leaves us alone.
So gives us space and independence. That's a way to twist it positively, Michael.
I like that. That's good. Yeah, giving kids space, they do like that. I can back that up, especially with teenagers.
Yeah. So what's different about this book? Why did you decide to write The Jesus Cow?
You know, I was carrying this idea around for a long time, and it starts way back when I used to do some writing in a coffee shop in Nashville, Tennessee called Bongo Java. And when you went to pay for your coffee, underneath the checkout there, they had this little glassed-in shrine, and inside of it was a cinnamon bun that looked like the face of Mother Teresa. Now,
how old was this
It really
cinnamon
kind of
bun?
did look like Mother Teresa, although, as I say, it helped if you knew ahead of time it was supposed to look like her.
Right.
And they called it the nun bun.
Okay.
Oh, that helped too,
And
then.
they sold nun bun coffee mugs and T-shirts. But the point is, it was based on this concept that's very common called pareidolia, which I may not be pronouncing it right. I know how to spell it, I know what it means, but I don't have occasion to bring it up in conversation down at the feed mill very often. But the point is, this is where, and you'll see it on the web, someone sees the face of Christ in a grilled cheese, or they see
in a cloud,
yeah, or
the
Mother
coffee.
Mary in a water stain on a wall, that sort of thing. And so, although it's a comic novel, it's clearly over the top. I wrote it for humor's sake. The concept itself, which is this guy goes out to check his cow on Christmas Eve, and she's had a calf, and it's a Holstein calf, and on the side of it, the spots can be construed to be the face of Christ. And then it's just what happens after that.
Well, and here's the what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not giving away anything in the book, but as I think through this, you've got two choices. You keep it to yourself and you share with your kids, hey, I see the face of Jesus Christ in our newborn calf. Go check it out. But keep it quiet. Don't tell your friends. Or you say, alert the media.
Right. Well, he at first tries to keep it quiet because he's a bachelor and he's been living alone for a long time, and he's got a buddy named Billy, and Billy is this rough-hewn philosopher who's always giving out little nuggets of philosophy, but really, if you listen closely, he's just quoting Waylon Jennings lyrics. and so when he asks Billy, what's the secret to happiness, Billy says low overhead in all things, emotionally, everything. So when he finds this calf, he tries to hide it, but eventually it gets away, it gets beyond his control. It goes, as things do in this day and age, viral. And then he has to decide, when the world beats a path to his door, when the folks from the local news show up, what do you do? And that's where things begin to unravel.
They get interesting?
They do get interesting, yeah. There are Hollywood agents involved and
That's
all
awesome.
sorts of things, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Did you grow up Catholic?
I did not. As a matter of fact, I have a very dear friend who's a very devout Catholic widow, and I had to go down. She's my neighbor. She lives in the valley below our farm, and I had to go down and ask her to help me proofread all the Catholic sections.
Is she the one who on page 40 said that, because you said something about the 12 stations of the cross, and she corrected you and said, no, it's 14 stations?
Unfortunately, what I had said is that this character had completed the stations of the cross in under 10 minutes, and my Catholic neighbor Ginny said, oh no, you're doing it wrong. That's the Cliff's Notes version. What I didn't catch is that in the book I refer to the 12 stations of the cross. There are actually 14. Even though it's fiction, I do try to get my facts straight. And yes, I've had some correspondence. The Pope hasn't weighed in on that, but I have had to apologize to some of my Catholic friends.
He probably hasn't read The Jesus Cow yet.
Just tell everyone that you're not Catholic, you're Catholic.
That's...
Oh!
Look who's writing
You
the
get
humor
that?
now.
You might have to phonetically write that out. Catholic.
Who's the humorist?
Right, exactly.
Who do you want to read this? Is this for younger readers? Is this for older readers? Is this for people who just like comedy?
This would be for an adult audience.
Adult audience,
but
okay.
there's, yeah, absolutely. There's humor.
Will
there's
Catholics
a lot of heartfelt
like it?
stuff. Oh, you know, if you get to the end of this book and you're upset, you just, I don't know what, you got other issues. Yeah.
You got too much overhead.
I like it. You know, I was raised in a very obscure fundamentalist Christian sect, and many of my relatives are still part of it, and I love them. And I always say I no longer believe what my parents believe, but I try every day to be more like them.
Yeah.
And so if you can't somewhere in there find some humor, I do say I try to be respectful, but I reserve the right to find humor in all things, including religion.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's cute.
You're the key.
You're still a volunteer firefighter and rescue worker?
Yeah, I still serve on the local volunteer service. I have to say my calls are way down because I'm on the road so much now. But, but yeah, just within the last week I made a call and carry a pager.
Where do you get to travel to? You know, being on the road, are you saying for all your books?
Yeah, I just got back from a tour of the West Coast, started down in San Diego, worked up through San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, then I was down in Chicago. 90% of what I do is in the Midwest.
Yeah.
80% of it's here in Wisconsin. But yeah, I get to travel, and I'm a freelance writer too, so that often involves travel, you know.
How do the people in California take a Wisconsin guy from New Auburn?
I always tell people the cool thing about writing humor about the Midwest is that you still get the laugh. You still get the laugh. It's just a different kind of laugh. So, like, I have a bit I do about why you should never stand behind a sneezing cow, which led to my website, sneezingcow.com.
Yeah.
And when I say around here in farm country up north, if I say never stand behind a sneezing cow, you get the laugh of recognition.
Yes, people understand.
When you say that in San Francisco, you get the laugh of shock and horror, especially after you explain why you should never stand behind a sneezing cow. Yeah.
Well, remember that thing that we read about when someone was attacked by a shark? More people are killed in our country by cows in a year than sharks.
By being kicked.
I just had a talk with my cousin this weekend at a graduation party, and he is an artificial inseminator, and he was just rescued by he was nearly killed by a cow.
A scary job.
She had him down and was basically grinding him into the concrete, and thankfully 2 people came along. Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
Dangerous.
Well, maybe he should have left that up to nature.
Well, that's a whole other discussion. You'll have to take that up.
She didn't want to deal with that.
You'll have to take that up with him and the cow.
Oh, I just get it now. I was like, I needed to ask a follow-up about that. He's an artificial inseminator. I get it. Okay.
Yes.
With his animals. I mean.
You know, why don't you have me on for a follow-up show? And we'll do a special actually on this if you don't mind.
I'm really glad that I've talked to her children about these things and not her.
The man loves a cow very, very much.
Yes, very much.
So,
how have some of your writings led to music? Because isn't that true? Like somehow music's gotten involved with some of the things you do?
Yeah, I'm helping out with a festival up north called the Eau Claire Festival. Spelled EAUXCLAIRES.
Okay.
Eau Claire. And it's with Justin Vernon of Bon Iver. I knew Justin when he was just a poor, struggling musician. Matter of fact, I had written some songs, and he helped me record a bunch of them. And he was in my band for a while. Now he's won 2 Grammys, and he's recording with Kanye and touring the world. Of course, he'll come crawling back.
Of course.
Well, you have a band, right?
I do. Yeah, I have a band, and we do about 10 or 15 shows a year, depending on the year. And the one rule my wife had when she heard I was starting a band is she said, you need to operate in the black within the first year. If you're not bringing home more money than you're spending, you have to stop. And so
She gave you only 1 year?
Yeah, well, you know, she's
hardcore.
Yeah.
She had a baby at home.
Yeah,
she can say stuff like that. She gets it,
right?
So we're you know, we are. It does generate more money than it costs, and I enjoy it. And there's a lot of intersection between the books and the music. I write all the songs. I do all the singing.
And that song we played, the East of Tuesday.
Oh yeah, sure.
South of Sunday.
Yeah,
that was your. Will you bring your band and play sometime?
Sure, you bet.
Okay, really quick. We'd have to do 2 rapid fire really fast. And we're out of time.
You're gonna get in trouble.
Just have a 1-word answer. Does your wife think you're funny? Yes or no?
Sometimes.
Okay. And what's your favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving.
Well, that's cute.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the information. You're in town. People can meet you, which is awesome in person.
Tonight.
Why wouldn't you? Jesus Cow, the book tour is here tonight, 7 p.m. What else could be better on a Friday night than meeting Michael Perry and talking about this book? He's at the Boswell Book Company on Downer. SneezingCow.com is his website, and he's got a great blog, so check it out. Always great to see you. Come back soon.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.